Greetings, greetings. Hi, Renee. Come up. How are you today? Greetings to you.
Hi, Toyin.
Always a pleasure to see you.
Always a pleasure to be here.
What's new?
Um, what is new? I'm working on this cool project with my friend Nula, and I'm helping her with her book writing project. So we
Nice.
met together this morning and got huge results so far.
Fantastic.
So
Awesome.
feeling good about that.
Awesome. Good, good, good. So greetings, everyone. I see so many people joining on other platforms as well. Greetings. Welcome. We're going to go deep. Okay. We're going to go deep on today's own as well. So welcome, everyone. I see Roger, Chioma, Kingsley, Allison, Margaret, Asmat. I also see Oluja. I see Miss Renee, of course, B. Nikki, as always. Hi, Coach. Hey, greetings. Listen, we're going deeper today. So welcome, everyone. My name is Toyin Umesiri. I'm the author of Mindset of an Entrepreneur and also the founder and instructor at the Entrepreneurs Academy. I do other things in the world of international trade development, but for the sake of today's session, let's just focus on entrepreneurship business development, okay? And what I want to cover today is, just from some of the classes I've taught on emotional intelligence, the power of it, why you need it. I'm going to go deeper into really the game-changing side of identity shift. So as we strive to win in business, whether you're new to entrepreneurship or you're a seasoned entrepreneur, part of the success secret is EQ, okay? The idea that emotion, our own emotion and the emotion of our clients and customers, we have to develop the skill, right? To manage emotion, to serve people where they're at, to create an atmosphere that is one of positivity, right? When you think about sales actually happens at the point of positive energy, okay? So for example, how you make people feel is going to matter to your success, okay? Whenever you're talking about sales and energetics, is that just imagine, would you buy from somebody that doesn't make you happy? I bet the answer is no. So one of the secrets to success in entrepreneurship is not just managing your own emotion, but also your ability to hold space for the emotion of other people, okay? And there's science that backs this. There's human behavior, human psychology, right, on and on and on. But at the minimum, we also need to understand our own psychology, right? Because the journey, as you make this journey, as you embark on this journey, you're going to need to shift your identity. Let me break that down, right? One of the fundamental struggles that first-time entrepreneurs navigate, because people don't talk about this, all of the stress, the pain, the struggle is tied to identity shift. You have to change. Just like the caterpillar going through metamorphosis and becoming a butterfly, is that many of the things you are going to be stretched because you are doing something you've never done before. You will need to grow some new skills, grow some wings. You have to develop a new way of thinking, a new way of being, a new way of approaching life. And that right there is the first fundamental struggle that nobody talks about. Okay? So a lot of the struggle that you're going to pass through as an entrepreneur is that you have to change. You have to change the way you think. You have to change your skills. You have to acquire more knowledge. You have to deepen yourself, because the version of you that made you successful as an employee will not help you as an entrepreneur. The traditional education system did not prepare us for this. So that's the first awareness I want to activate for you today. That whenever you feel pain, struggle, sit with yourself and ask yourself these simple fundamental questions. What don't I know that I need to know? What skills do I need to develop that I have not developed? Ask those two questions, because once you master these new skills, you will stop struggling. There will not be any struggle anymore. The struggle goes away, guys. But once you've not mastered, once you've not developed the muscle, the struggle persists. So let me open that for discussion. I see Rumi saying, thanks for sharing so much knowledge. God bless. I appreciate that. Thank you everyone for joining. So yes, that's the first awareness I want to activate. Right? The struggle is tied to a shift inside of you. There's something you need to know that you may not know already. And there's a skill you need to have that will help you do whatever it is you're trying to do. So Renee, do you want to react? I also see Oluja joining us. I'm sure you have something, you have something to contribute, and others would love to hear your thoughts as well. Renee, reaction, and then we'll pass it on to Oluja.
I think one of the things that I heard you say is that as an entrepreneur, it requires a different set of skills as an employee. I'm wondering if there is some crossover there, especially around the topic of emotional intelligence from the perspective of the employee. I know you want to talk about entrepreneurship, but I think maybe a lot of people who are weighing in here might also be in the position of the employee, and emotional intelligence matters there as well. So
okay. Maybe, I love it. Yeah, I'll go there. Listen, this session, the reason I love this types of session is the interaction. So I'll go there. Yes, there is crossover, but let me share something with you. You bring who you are currently, and most of the time, the employee is narrow focused and is focused on a vertical skill. The way the enterprise, corporations are organized, right, is that the job you have right now is narrow focused, a silo. So you tend to deepen skill in one dimension. So definitely you're going to bring that dimension into the world of business. But what happens in the world of business is like you being a pilot. You now have to stretch to the right, to the left, up, down, beyond your silo. That's what's going on. Yes, you bring over all of your background, your experience, your skills, your intellect, your relationship. You bring it. It does cross over. You cross over. Because everything you're about to do is going to be built on you first. If you're the startup, right? Everything you know, everything you've learned up until now, you bring it into the world of business. However, the world of business requires 360 growth, not one dimension. 360 all-round stretching. It will stretch you because not only do you have to do what you're currently doing for your employer, now you have to know marketing, branding, sales, pricing, business model, relationship, networking, technology, systems. I can go on and on and on and on and on. That's the gap. That stretch. So who you are today, you bring it in, but be ready. Probably who you are today is probably 10% of what is needed. Maybe even 5%. But let me be conservative. Let's say you are bringing over 10% of what you need for success. The remaining 90%, you now have to go, you have to develop it. Right? Communication. Right? Mindset. Right? Skill set. Systems. Not just one-dimensional system. Listen, accounting, legal, right? Sales, marketing, right? Customer service. Should I keep going on? Everything is on you when you are the startup. So that's why I always talk about training. Train fast if you don't want to fail fast. Because if you bring that 10% skill to this journey, you are ill prepared. So the struggle starts. That's why they talk about fail fast. Meaning, learn on the job. If you figure it out quickly, fine. If you don't, you bear the pain and consequences. You fail, you try again, you fail, you try again, you fail. And I say learn fast. That's why the Entrepreneurs Academy is the most comprehensive lessons, right? Training program for first-time entrepreneurs. That's the whole point of why I'm hosting this type of session, because nobody sits us down to really help us understand that yes, you are highly capable. That's why you have a job. Yes, you are highly intellectual. You are smart. Fantastic. Listen, business will stretch you, particularly in the world of EQ. The emotional roller coaster. Do I know it? How do I start this? Oh, who do I ask questions? Where do I find clients and customers? How do I market? Oh, my sales. Oh, how do I price? A list of questions you now have to answer. So absolutely there's crossover, but at best, I think 10% crossover. But I'm open to hearing what you guys have to say based on your experience at all. Okay? I see Biniki saying, understanding how the mind works after digesting the emotional intelligence course, my problem productivity level 10x. Okay, so Biniki is one of my students, and last week I released the emotional intelligence course. So you've taken it. Let's talk about that. If you want to come on video or come on Clubhouse, I would love to hear, the feedback, because I released that class last week. So every week, every other week, I'm releasing something in the school. The school is over a year old. We have over 300 resources, the A to Z of entrepreneurship, business development. So my students go step by step. So B Nikki, come over to Clubhouse. I would love to get some feedback on that. Okay, so thank you for sharing. You said your productivity level 10x. That's great. So Renee, that's my best feedback. I also see MS Boss saying, thank you, Queen. Okay, someone invited you in. Okay, great. Please feel free to come up stage as well. I see more people joining on LinkedIn as well. Please feel free to raise your hand. This is more of a live discussion, live interaction. So I'll go at your pace. If you have questions, I'll slow down, because the conversation is really where, everybody gleans from, instead of me just sharing general knowledge. Renee, did that help you? Was that a surprise? Okay.
I couldn't get to my mic. Yeah,
I know.
It does. I'm just thinking about how if you're on a team or in a business, or just, if you as an employee are not feeling good about your life or something like that, you can actually bring down the momentum of the other people. Mm-hmm. And I think that's one of the things that I am realizing about emotional intelligence, is that, and especially if you're the boss, right? If you're the boss, if you can't keep your energy up and your enthusiasm up, that's going to be detrimental to the whole team and the whole effort.
Yes. Okay, most times people talk about time management. When it comes to entrepreneurship, it's actually energy management. But I'll talk about that a little if people want to go deeper into that. But let me bring Oluja. I know he came up stage. He probably wants to say something, introduce himself, and also, ask a question or contribute as well. Welcome to the space. How are you today?
Great. Thank you for inviting me up. Great topic, I would say, for today. Funny enough, 2 days ago, I was actually at the Bloomberg Tech Summit, and I think this was part of discussions.
Fantastic.
Artificial intelligence, artificial intelligence, actually, and a mix of emotional intelligence actually helps most entrepreneurs. I mean, I would say that should be a core element to actually grind into you moving up, and especially those that are looking to scale up. You should definitely have some amount of emotional intelligence helping you all along the way.
Absolutely. Yes, I love that. In fact, guys, let me tell you this. Even beyond entrepreneurship, let's say you have a job right now. Trust me, leadership is 100% EQ. All you're doing, this is why many people that don't understand the power of EQ, they will tend to question the technical skills that their superiors do not have. Right? They will tend to say, oh, how come he's the VP, EVP, he's the CEO, but this guy doesn't know anything technology. Listen, he's not being paid based on technical skills. He's being paid based on EQ, his ability to manage other people's emotions and get them to be productive. to create an atmosphere. Listen, if you have the skill to manage other people's emotions, to create spaces where people feel safe enough to contribute their energy towards the advancement of a company, you are a leader. you are being paid millions of dollars simply to manage people. And people are emotional and thinking beings. People, humans, are thinking and emotional beings. Most of the time, people focus on IQ, how smart you are, your ability to read, memorize, deliver specific results. But trust me, even in this class that I taught last week, and the program is available in my school, even in that class, I covered self-leadership. The reason most people cannot lead them, many people cannot set goals for themselves and fulfill it. Many people cannot commit to maximizing their days to achieve success. Can you imagine that person having the responsibility to now lead a team? You can't lead a team if you cannot lead yourself. Let me say that again. You will not be effective at leading a team of people if you cannot if you cannot motivate yourself, you cannot inspire yourself, you cannot challenge yourself, right, to do specific things all by yourself. Because that's the responsibility of a leader. To motivate other people, inspire them, challenge them, encourage them, transform them, lead them from point A to point B to achieve productivity on behalf of the mission. So if you cannot control your own emotions, if you cannot lead yourself, if you cannot manage your time, if you cannot be aware enough every day, you are giving 4 hours to charge to online, you're here, you're there, yet you're living your hopes, dreams, and aspiration on the back burner. You are not prioritizing that, and you are seeking pleasure every day. Realize you are not a candidate for this type of leadership. I just broke. I think people who may not be used to my lessons, my classes, listen, we shoot straight. We go deep so that we can go high. Because for us to quantum leap, to get to higher dimensions quickly, we must confront all those things. Quickly. If you want to lead, you want to achieve success, self-discipline. Because if you don't discipline yourself, how can you discipline other people? You cannot. You won't even have the tools and dexterity or capacity to do it, to communicate that. You may not do it well because it's heart to heart. When you talk about heart-centered leadership, start with your own heart. I always say you are your own hero. Rescue your hopes, dreams, and aspirations. Let's start there. Let's start there. Before leave people alone. You know, we want to change the world. We want to conquer the world. Let's conquer ourselves first. Because the secret to success is what we do when nobody is looking. How you feel with yourself, what you tell yourself. That is the secret of success. But we want to lead other people, right? We want to be out there. But I'm telling you, it starts from within first. I know I said a whole lot out there right now because the 6 dimensions of self-leadership is so powerful. It's so powerful because it's the same skill that you can use to influence the world. Right? Because influence is not just an intellectual experience. It's a heart-to-heart, mind-to-mind connection because we are thinking, right? Because of our own makeup. So I'm going to dive a little bit into it. Oluja, did you want to respond there?
Carry on, sorry.
Okay, good. Renee said, 6 dimensions of self-leadership. What a great title for a teaching. Yes, it's part of the EQ class from my school. Like, listen, these things matter a lot. They do. Because today, one of the biggest challenges, and you know this, let me say this quickly. One of the biggest challenges people face is what you do with the ideas within yourself. Right? Because businesses' success is 100% built on ideas, or ideas originating within us. Okay? Your thoughts, the ideas you have, the ones you carry. your ability to bet it and bring it into reality. There was a newsletter I wanted to write today. I'm still playing around with the title, but it's along the line of, it's not just about dreaming. We now need to bring our dreams into reality, right? Because EQ is part of creativity and innovation. I'm going to break it down. The relationship between our heart and our mind is what will help us create results and impact. It's not just the mind that does this work. The heart-centeredness is required to believe. This is where confidence comes from. Belief comes from the place of the heart. And there are certain emotions that will support you in creating. And also there are certain emotions that will not help you create. Okay. There are certain emotions that will motivate you. There are certain emotions that will demotivate you. When you find yourself hesitating, struggling, right? You start something, you stop, you start, you stop, or you give up, is because of EQ, lack of EQ. Okay? It's because of lack of EQ. Let me see if I can, I'll share some things about self-leadership because I think it might help somebody here. If you find yourself unable to complete your tasks or to start what you want to start and finish what you want to finish, right? If you find yourself struggling, part of it is EQ. Because on this journey, I also cover self-mastery. Okay? Self-mastery is part of self-leadership. You cannot lead people you've not mastered. If you don't understand emotions, if you don't understand your own makeup, if you don't understand, part of it also is, introspection, self-expression, right? All of these things are all connected. So think of yourself as a computer. These are complex topics that I want to make very, very, very simple. Think of yourself as a computer. Input, process, output. Input, process, output. You can grab a pen and write that. Input, process, output. So as humans, and I want to welcome those who just joined. Thank you. I know we're going deeper and deeper, but I just want to acknowledge everyone that has joined. The stage is open. You can raise your hand. You can type in the spaces. You can contribute. You can engage. Other people would also love to, hear your thoughts, not just me talking. Okay. So think of yourself. Think of ourselves. Input, process, output. Input from a physical realm is tied to our 5 senses. So let's go back to biology. Is it biology? Okay. 5 senses: taste, touch, sight, feeling, hearing. The way our body, the physical body, you're an emotional being, you're a thinking being, but you're also a physical being, you're also a spiritual being. I hope you understand that. Okay. So in this dimension, as we are all coexisting on planet Earth, as the Earth rotates around its own axis, forming 24 hours, and then it spins around the sun in 1 year, 364 point something days, right? Oh no, 365 days, and then leap year. They tag on the extra hours to form an extra day. Okay, so we are here on Earth. The ground beneath you is definitely turning. That's what forms day and night. And then the Earth is spinning on itself and also spinning around the sun. That's a construct we all understand. For us to experience this world, our 5 senses is how you touch this physical realm. When you hear something, as you're listening to me today, it's going straight into your mind and you're processing what you're listening to. You listen to music, you listen to sound, you watch TV, right? You taste food, you smell perfumes, right? And what happens is that when we take all these things in, they are all data points. They're just information. Okay? They are information, but they are open to interpretation. The interpretation is of your own construct. That is why 5, 10, 50 people can experience the same outcomes, but come up with different interpretation. This is why I actually started teaching this dimension of business, because I realized that as I teach technical business skills in my school, toyinumesiri.academy, how people interpret and make use of technical business skills is going to be their own construct, not mine. Because we can transfer knowledge, we can transfer skill, we can transfer mindset, we can transfer emotion, we can transfer your own programming. 2 people can know exactly the same thing intellectually, but the levels of success and accomplishment will be 100% determined by their own programming. Let's get clear. IQ. You can load up, 2 people can read the same book or books, watch the same TV, go to the same school, be in the same class. 20 years later, they will arrive in a different destination. What happened? What happened? This is what happened. EQ, programming. Is that 2 people can be in the same class, sit under the same classes, teaching. 20 years later, they will arrive at different locations. So let me go back to our makeup. So with your physical senses, you experience the physical realm. But trust me, as you're experiencing it, it goes into your mind. Your mind now wants to tell a story. That story is what's going to be tied to your memories. Okay? The story you craft is now dependent on your history. So my history, and so everything everybody's listening to right now, guess what? You are all going to walk away from this same session mixed with your history. That's how this works. We all bring our baggage into every present moment. Everything you are dragging around, thoughts, assertions, hopes, dreams, fears, doubts, limitation, belief, mindset, you are dragging it around into every single interaction. You may not know, but your mind is dragging it around. Consciously, subconscious, right? Your mind is filled with memory. It's a memory bank of everything you've ever experienced. So what happens if you are now triggered? Something happened. Let's say I say something. Whatever I say takes you back memory lane to 20 years ago when somebody said something. The way you will interpret what I say wouldn't be different from the person next to you. Why? Because of the memory bank, your life experiences. So trust me, part of EQ is also acknowledging that we all are on a journey. This is why we start, in a way, becoming more gentle with ourselves and other people. Don't contribute to other people's chaos, drama, pain. This is why even in business, I say business is about excellence in service delivery. All I want to do is offer you some positivity. That's it. That's my job. If we can all elevate each other's pain, support each other, and I always say it's either you are removing pain or bringing pleasure in business. Listen, pleasure, because life itself, you all know how life is. Life is a struggle anyway. Part of business is how you support other people on their journey, making that journey a little bit better, right? A little bit less painful, a little bit more enjoyable, a little bit more pleasant. This is what people pay for. That's why you invest in luxury, my school, all of those things. That's what this is about. Because if you can achieve it all by yourself, then you don't need any solution. If you can plant your own banana, you won't need to go to Walmart for banana. If you can get your own gas, you won't need to go to the gas station. Or for those in Europe, petrol, right? So, remember I talked about input, process, output. The inputs can be the same. In fact, even the inputs can be flawed. This is where we talk about perception. How you even perceive the world is clouded by, you see what you want to see. You experience what you want to experience. So even the inputs, the longer you are in this world, okay, the older you get, that even is clouded. You can be driving down the same street. You will see what you want to see, and you will ignore everything that you consider not to be important for you. But let's say everything you take in is determined by your identity, what you want to identify with, that's what you are going to see. And what you identify with and you see is what you're going to experience. Now, when you take all that data in, the processing is now also influenced by your baked programming. And then when it comes to self-expression, how you speak about your thoughts, your opinions, your ideas, also is a programming. Communication, self-expression. Because one of the things I also say in the game plan program in the school is that when you say yes, when you mean to say no, or when you say no, when you mean to say yes, also shows you that there's also could be a gap between who you really are and who you're portraying to be. And the journey of entrepreneurship will squeeze you so much that everything in you will come out. That's why authenticity, vulnerability is part of this journey. Because as long as you are masking, you'll be in more pain. Because the entire pressure, remember the identity shift, one of the identity that has to shift is you have to strengthen your inner core. You have to build character. You have to strengthen the self. Because that self, the self you've not revealed to the world, is the one that has the assignment for creativity. The version of you that you are putting to the world does not have the capacity to produce, to be creative. It doesn't. The faker version of us cannot create. The most authentic version of you has a voice, right? And that's where your DNA of creativity is. Your true self, the one that we've been programmed to hide from the world, now wants to come to the forefront. It wants to take over and run your life. That's the journey of entrepreneurship. That is the side of you that has been telling you, I have an idea. I have an idea. I have a business idea. We could do this. We could do that. We could do this. You know, we could go to the moon. Listen, the people who achieve success are the ones that listen to that voice. Elon Musk will tell us he's going to the moon. He will tell us he wants to buy Twitter. He will tell us he wants to drill from here to the world. He will tell us he is listening to his soul. The most authentic version of Elon Musk is the one doing all these things we're seeing. Is the one doing all this thing. So each of you too, until you learn how to listen to that inner voice and give it room and give it power and give it space to express its true opinion, thoughts, right? You can't do this work well. Because the real struggle is the seed breaking the outer shell. It wants to reveal itself because the tree that will bear the fruit is in the seed, not in its shell. The side of you that wants to create and achieve success is not the ones you've clouded. It's the one you've been protecting with the outer shell. The outer shell must give room, must make way for the real authentic version of you. That soul level assignment. Okay, you have to empower yourself with the voice, with the skill, with the courage, with the audacity to show up into the world. That's the version of it that has to show up. Until that version is ready to show up, people are still not strong enough to assert their thoughts in the world and make room, because your impact, your energy impact, emotion is tied to that soul level assignment. And your fulfillment, your fullness, your joy is also tied to when that side of you breaks forth. And when we now say personal development, many people think it is the shell, the external side you are supposed to be developing. No, that side has been developed and programmed by the world system, the school system. You've been performing external. Right? I always say the lion in the zoo versus the lion in the wild. The lion in the zoo will perform. The day you come into the wild, your true version is the only way you survive the jungle. That's what I talk about, right? Your true version, your power is locked into your most authentic version. This is why when people go through my program, they feel empowered. What version of you feel empowered? The one you've been abandoning, the one you've not been listening to. This is the one you must actually be empowering. Right? And that version is EQ. IQ, you can load up all you want on IQ. Trust me, there's only so far IQ will take you. There's only so far. Smarts. Those who are smart in corporate, right? We will always give them job and assignments. Those who know EQ will give them leadership. That's the difference. IQ will do work. Okay, EQ will influence, achieve success. You need both. Not one over the other, but you need both. Most people have not developed EQ because that EQ is tied 100% to your connectivity with your soul. Right? Your ability to listen to your heart. Right? Hear what it has to say. And say it. But most people listen to their hearts. They hear what it has to say. And then their mind will tell them, don't say it. What will people say? What will people think? Fear. The mind that has not come along on this journey will give you fear. Will give you so much. This is why people are afraid. What are you afraid of? Is your mind that is creating shadows. What are you really, honestly, what are you afraid of? These are the things you have to confront. Write it down. What are you afraid of? Your mind is playing tricks. Right? So part of the journey of the mind is bringing it along. This is where education comes in, inspiration comes in, right? Motivation comes in, because the mind, I've shared it before, the human mind doesn't want to do any work. The human mind is lazy. It jumps to conclusion. It wants to be entertained. It continues to seek pleasure. The five senses always seeks pleasure. Self-discipline is how you train yourself to do the painful work that you don't want to do. Let me stop there, because that's my sinister laugh. Many people don't understand that as long as you are waiting for your mind to come along, you will wait forever. This mind, the natural tendency is to seek out pleasure. Leave me alone. Don't exercise. Don't show up. Don't do anything. Anytime you want to do something new, it will scream at you. Self-discipline is where you take charge of your mind. You subject it to work, right? You have to also build some reward processes to the same mind. Because listen, the mind always wants to be pleasure. That's why we seek nice sounding music. Listen, we want entertainment. We want luxury. We want to spend money. We want to feel good, because that is the natural state of the human mind. But when it comes to entrepreneurship, you have work to do, and pain is involved in a way. How are you going to train yourself, discipline yourself, manage yourself, lead yourself through that entire process and come out on the other side? That is self-leadership. Okay, I said a lot. Let me open it to discussion. Renee, over to you.
I'm just typing in the chat. I decided I would be courageous and write what my fears are. Mostly that seems to come around the fear of rejection. But as I worked with it, I realized it's like personal rejection of me, which seems kind of silly, but more so that I feel like often I'm sort of a scribe for God, and then I'm bringing these ideas forth, but ideas without action or ideas without, fulfillment, they're nothing more than ideas. If they stay in my head or they stay on my computer, they're not actually helping anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think I have this fear that my ideas will be rejected, and then I'm rejected, and then it just feels terrible.
Okay.
And I'm really speaking from the feeling place.
And this is it. This is the most beautiful thing we can do, to hear what's going on within us, give it voice. This is where the power of journaling, many people, because this is anxiety are unprocessed emotion. The day you learn how to sit with yourself and actually say, what am I afraid of? What's going on within me? What thoughts are running through me? and you slow down enough to write these things down, at that point, we can start solving problems. Okay, we can start addressing each of those things. But if you don't know what's going on within you, if you don't give it voice, if you don't identify each of those things, you cannot solve it. It's just a ball of emotion that is just drowned. People are drowning in that unprocessed emotion. So this is an healthy practice, by the way. So I applaud your courage. Okay, let me just excuse me. Should I say attack? I'm using attack because sometimes a lot of these things we just need to shoot them down. The thoughts. The world, I want to make a distinction and get your reaction. The world will tend to reject half-baked ideas. True or false?
True.
Okay. Many times, if we are honest with ourselves, we are trying to throw half-baked ideas to the world, and people are not, it's not in the form that is useful to people. We are trying to get other people to finish our own work for us.
But can I ask this question?
Please, feel free.
A market research thing. So you're kind of throwing out a half-baked idea in hopes that you get some feedback if you're going in the right direction. If you're going in the right direction, you keep going in that direction, right? But if you don't get any positive reinforcement, that might be that you're going in the wrong direction.
So let me share this. Most people in the world cannot even assess half-baked ideas. They cannot help you. Most people, if you take your ideas to them, they will shoot it down because most people don't know how to read abstracts. This is why when we talk about coaching, mentorship, is that I always recommend, if you're going to present any idea to any person, please make sure it is somebody that is highly skilled, that is intuitive enough. This person has already done this type of process. And the process is that those who know how to take abstract concepts, imaginary concepts, believe in it, wrestle for it, invest in it, and manifest it. And they've done it over and over and over again. They are believers. When you go to such people, they will not shoot your ideas down because they are highly skilled and highly trained in the abstract, intuitive space. Most average person in the world do not have that skill. So when you start putting abstract, I want to do this, and I'm thinking of this, and if I do this, and if I do that, I'm telling you, you're going to get negativity. 1,000%. You can, out of 1,000 people, I don't know if you will find one person that has this skill. Is that rare? This is when we start talking top 1% of the world, 10% of the world, is that most people in the world kill their own dreams and aspirations. If you bring your own to them, they will do the same to yours. People who haven't fulfilled their own dreams, is it your own dreams they will make happen for you? It doesn't happen. Okay? That is why, listen, if you want to have a baby, you better find an hospital that have midwives and skills to help you birth a baby. Don't bring on social media, birth my baby, birth my baby. The social media is not the right space. The more you see your ideas as the seed of a possible future for you, your future, listen, the idea is a glimpse of a possible future for you. It's a glimpse. It's an option. That's why people have multiple ideas. Do you want this? Do you want your future to look like this? Do you want your future to look like that? Do you want your future? This could be your future. That's what an idea is. Your job is to now create that future. Don't take ideas. Don't take that future to people who will muddy your future, who will throw it, who do not even believe in you, talk less of believing in that future for you. That's what's going on. Anybody that cannot see a better future for you, anybody that cannot dream greatness for you, anybody that cannot dream wealth for you, don't go to them seeking for what? Oh, I think I can make money. I think I can do this. I think I can do that. They haven't done it for themselves. Is it you? No, it doesn't work that way. Guys, you need to start finding people who have the capacity, right? The heart, the mind, the spirit, the energy for success. There is an energy for success. That energy is used to incubate ideas and bet it. This is when I talk about startup ecosystem, nurturing entrepreneurs. I'm telling you that, listen, entrepreneurs need nurturing. Most businesses do not succeed. Why? Because there are energies and forces and emotions that can easily disrupt your flow. And if you do not isolate yourself, there are times when you need to incubate yourself in the right space and hide from the world. I'm saying this. Stop exposing your thoughts, ideas in the wrong dimensions that will kill the hopes, dreams, and aspirations. People have been doing these things too much. That's why many people cannot move forward. Many people are stuck in the past simply because they are surrounded by people who are not dreaming, who are not moving, whose energy is dormant. There is a certain energy that when you are around that energy, it will give you life. It will give you hope. It will give you inspiration. Those are the rare ones you need to stick with. Okay, I've said too much. Let me bring myself back. Renee, go ahead.
Oh my gosh, this is just huge. I wish I would have known this sooner, and I've never heard it articulated so well. I probably have heard some version of what you just said. I guess the next question in that realm is, how do you discern someone who has the skills? Because especially, I think it's very difficult to figure out who has the skills that you're describing, who can distract, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Right word? The information and see the bigger picture along with you without rejecting it out of hand.
It's very simple. Okay, we're talking about EQ, right? Emotional intelligence. Sometimes it's called EI, EQ. The definition for emotion is energy in motion. If you just search, what is emotion? It's energy in motion. Energy, right? The simple answer is also at the heart level. Whenever you talk to these people, when you walk away from them, how do you feel? It's very, guys, this thing is not rocket science. These people, whenever you speak to any person about anything, the moment, during your interaction, your heart is always telling you something. This is why I say you have to start slowing down to listen to your heart will never lead you astray. Your mind can lead you astray because it is programmed by the society, by what you've exposed it to. But your heart will never lead you astray. When you are talking to people, quiet yourself. Check in with your inner peace. Is your heart at peace or troubled? Right? Just check in. When you leave that person, are you hopeful or hopeless? Right? That's it. It's simple. It's simple. Anybody you get close to that gives you hope, gives you courage, makes you feel powerful, enlightens you. When you leave them, you are on cloud 9. They have the energy we're talking about. And anybody that gives you any of the opposite, you need to distance yourself from them. Or at least put a gap between your thoughts, ideas, future, and them. They can be a part of your past. They don't have to be a part of your future. This thing is simple. It's not rocket science. Your heart knows best. This is also something from childhood, by the way, is that your soul always knows how it wants to be loved. Any deviation is what causes trauma. When you are a child, you cannot remove yourself from certain spaces, but surely as an adult, you have the audacity to put boundaries around your heart. Bible says guard your heart. Many people don't understand that it is important to guard your heart. That your heart is the seed of your life. Bible says, Jesus said, out of your heart, your life will come out. It's the same exact thing I'm telling you right now. Your life, your future will come out of your heart. Don't give people access to mess your place of peace. Anybody that disturbs your peace of mind, that person is disturbing your life. Okay, I know that many people have is that it? And the church said amen. Okay, how come we've never heard this before? It's in the Bible. Maybe we're not interpreting it the right way. Guard your heart. For your issues, the issues of your life flows from it. How simple, right? It is the manufacturing city for what you create in life. And if you allow toxicity to be entering your factory, you will eat, it gives birth to what it gives birth to. Right? Don't allow people to be dropping energy, disturbing you, messing you up. You can, 2 hours later, you can't function. This thing is happening on social media. That's why I always say, be careful on social media. You're exposing yourself to thoughts, ideas. The longer you stay here, people have been on social, 5 years. 5 years after, what did it give birth to in your life? All the people you are following, that you are liking, that they are making you laugh, how are they contributing towards your future? What energy are they giving you? Many people stay on social media. The best thing they get out of it is depression. Can we talk about these things? It's lack of EQ. You expose yourself to other people's projections on you that their life is better than yours, and you believe them. Gosh. They are putting out there, trying to tell you that they are living a better life than you, and you are believing them. These are people that might be living in the basement of their parents. Yet, they will form a studio and be projecting images that are not true. And you are consuming that and thinking your life is worse than theirs. And all of a sudden, you are depressed. This is the sickness of our era, guys. Lack of emotional boundaries. It leads to a lot of sickness. The sickness, the worst case is clinical. The ones I'm just talking about. So I tell you, seek help. Because these things they are so deep. They are so deep. But soon enough, it shows up in real life. So if you want to achieve business success, you have to get clear. Who are the people that will help you achieve it? What do you need to achieve? It's a straight line. But if you don't go the straight line and you're going zigzag, it's like imagine eating food from 100 tables. You will make yourself sick to the stomach. This is what's happening. The human mind is a digestive system. It's a digestive system. Your body digests food to get energy. The human mind also digests information, energy flow, all these things to get energy. There are certain information that you will get that will make you feel powerful. There are certain information you will expose yourself that will make you feel powerless. You put that into your system. Your mind is a system that when you expose it, when you sleep at night, it seeks to process and digest everything you consume. It will separate useful and useless information, right? And it will file it in your subconscious. Your subconscious become part of your operating system. Whether you like it or not, you are functioning today simply because of all the programming in your system. And when you need to change identity, that programming must be disrupted. Oh, I think somebody raised hand on LinkedIn. Please, do you want to try it again? Let's try it again if you want to join the conversation. Okay, I see more chats. Okay, let's see. The secret of success is what we do when no one is watching. Yes. I've heard people say that anger should never be allowed to show itself. How do you think about this perspective? Anger. Oh, Okay. Ready? Are you guys ready? Remember I talked about input, process, output. Input, process, output. We take in information, experiences, we process it. And even in the class, I actually talk about the stages of processing, right? So there is perception, how you perceive the world. Then the mind seeks to interpret it. Interpretation, every step of the way is influenced by what's already in your mind. So how you perceive a situation can make you angry. Some other person will not be angry. Okay? Certain things, the same thing may make one person angry, may make another person, would not even disturb another person. Why is that? The reason is because it could be if you have already programmed yourself around certain scenarios. If this happens, I feel this way, I respond this way. If somebody says this, it displeases my soul. So I have to express how displeased I am. So in expressing how displeased I am, I express it in this way. Some people will shout, some people will give a look. This is where we talk about passive aggressive. People's expression of different emotion is different. 5 people can be angry, but the way they will express that anger will be unique to them. That's their programming. So if you've set your programming that when certain things happen, right, express yourself in this way, okay? Because at the soul level, it goes against your value. You don't identify with this assertion. And so you must make known, because part of freedom of expression, okay? Part of the freedom we all want is freedom of expression. What usually happens is that nurturing, when you were a child, okay? Instead, most people, right, what we ought to have done is help children process their emotions fully and then teach them, give them skills to express their emotion in more positive ways. But that's not what we all got. What we all got were unprocessed emotions. We were told to keep it to ourselves. So we then trained ourselves to bottle all of those emotions instead of processing it. So a lot of outbursts is actually due to us not developing this skill, because there are more positive ways you can truly express anger. Let me give you an example. I can totally tell you right now, I'm seriously disappointed by what you did. I wasn't expecting that from you. Like, really? You did that? That's so unthinkable. Like, what made you do it? I'm seriously not happy with you right now. I just used my words to express displeasure. And I make sure I use the full force of my words to express how I felt. I don't have to throw punches. I don't have to throw tantrums to tell you how angry I am. That's the difference. Is that the moment we don't start practicing how to say what we want to say in a non-destructive way, in a way that doesn't destroy the relationship. I can thoroughly tell you I am so angry. I can laugh, but I will thoroughly let you know, listen, I'm so angry with you. And you will get the point. I don't have to throw tantrums to express myself. This is the gift, the skill we give ourselves. But when we don't know how to ask myself, am I angry? Am I upset? Am I disappointed? And when we don't know how to process this and label it, then also our attempt to express it is kind of like we combust. It's like the steam inside of us, when we haven't processed it, will come out as an explosion. It will come out as an explosion. So the expression of anger per se, we have come to interpret it as the explosion, but I'm telling you, you can still express anger in non-combustible ways. When I'm saying combustible, I'm saying, listen, the energy within you is trying to get out of your system. You can unleash it in an outburst on the other person, and you can burn that, you can light that other person on fire simply because you are angry. You don't have to do that. If your real attempt is just to let them know how displeased you are, there are some skills you can develop to put it out there. And in a way, let me clean the energy, because in my attempt to express myself, you probably felt something as well. I'm just trying to tell you how potent emotion is. Even words too are extremely powerful. What we are not doing is we are not using words enough, right? We are not, when I talk about nature, nurture, culture, is that certain culture, we've not gone through this exercise of, writing expression with words, the power of words. Words will do everything you want to do if you know the right words to use. It's a skill that you can develop. So anger, for me, over the years, and this is something that we all continue to need working on, is the moment you are triggered and you can catch that emotion within you and identify it, you can then quickly tell yourself, now what? Right? Now what? Okay, this person has done something that's really, really, really is unacceptable to me. What do I want to do about that? The moment you can give yourself that space, this is the position of power, by the way, right? When you empower yourself, it's like you realize that people won't be triggering you anymore. You won't be saying, oh, you made me do this, you made me do that. Nobody can make you do anything you don't want to do, right? But if you don't know how to process your emotion, they will be in charge of running your life. When you are not in charge of your emotions, other people will be. By their words and actions, will run you crazy, right? But the day you start doing this work, you'll be giving yourself power, power, power. The day you are empowered, you realize that they say whatever they want to say, they do whatever they want to say. You now take charge and say, you know what? Okay, I see you. You've done everything you want to do. Now let me respond. And my response will be intentional. Right? It will be intentional. That is ultimately, when you gift yourself this EQ, you realize that you are actually in charge and in control of how you express yourself. How you choose to express yourself is that you don't allow other people to access your emotion and your place of power without you giving them permission. So it's part of emotional boundaries, right? Is that you can't stop people from doing what they would do, but your ability is also part of self-regulation. When somebody shifts you from a place of comfort and peace, how do you respond? How do you respond to them? Okay, that's something you can come up with. You can train yourself on, because the past is that you trained yourself a certain way before. The new skill is you can rewrite that programming. You can override it. But it takes time, it takes discipline, it takes programming yourself to say, when this happens, this is how I'm going to respond. And you try it over and over and over and over again until this new discipline becomes your natural state of being, because the old has to be displaced and you have to replace it with a new way. So anytime you find yourself responding in ways that you are not happy, meaning you are not happy with yourself, you are not happy with how something transpired and your own contribution towards it, part of the skill of emotional intelligence is taking responsibility for your own contribution, taking it back home as an homework to fix it. You have to fix yourself. But when people don't want to take responsibility, they will say, oh, this is who I am. You should know who I am. No, 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 no. These are the people that cannot lead. You cannot be leading people now and be telling those you're leading, this is who I am. Guess what? You just gave everybody license for misbehavior. Your entire team will misbehave as well. That condition will permeate through your entire team. So the reason we work on ourselves is so that you can be an example, right? Because eventually a leader will replicate themselves. Your energy you will transfer it. I think Renee was saying that anyway, right? I think earlier on. is that the reason the leader has to do so much work is that the work you do on yourself, listen, you're actually doing it for your people, because your behavior, your thoughts will naturally, very soon, it will fill the entire room up. So if you don't like yourself, if you don't like how you speak, how you feel, hide yourself briefly from people, fix all of those things. Because every time you're interacting with people, you're actually spreading yourself. You're spreading yourself. Very, very soon, everybody around you will be behaving like you, talking like you. You will see. This is why we talk about magnet. You will see in the world who you are. You will experience in the world what you believe. The outer world is a reflection of your inner condition. If you don't like what you're seeing and experiencing in the world, go back home, fix yourself. 100% fix yourself. But every time we want to fix other people, we tend to point finger. You did this. Trust me, leave people alone. Leave people alone. You can't change nobody, but you can change yourself. The assignment is for you to change, to grow, to expand, to mature in this space. And EQ is one of those spaces we've not done enough work in, because we didn't go to school for this. IQ is what the school system invested. You invested more than 20 years, right? Getting smart, getting brilliant, getting intelligent. Now you are useful in technical terms. But trust me, now we have to bring our emotion, our heart, because success is a function of your heart. Entrepreneurship is a function of the heart. Human-to-human relationship is a function of the heart. Your marriage is a function of your heart. Your relationship with your children is a function of your heart. Your relationship with your family is a function of your heart. Every human-to-human relationship that is meaningful is a function of EQ. And so, no wonder today, communities have broken down. You can't rely on anybody. Nobody can rely on you. Everybody's masking and pretending because there's no emotional safety. You don't feel safe. You can't express your heart to people. People haven't made space for you. So everybody's alone. Even though, right, you're in community, but you are still feeling alone because there's no emotional safety. The best place to start is your own soul safe with you? When you go to bed at night, is your own soul safe with you? Safe in your own hands? Your thoughts, opinions, beliefs, dreams, aspirations. Have you protected that? Or you are exposing it? That pain starts there. Is your soul safe with you? Because if your own soul is not safe with you, other people's soul, they cannot be safe in your hands as well. Renee.
Okay, so what do you think about schools like Harvard Business School? Do you think that our big business schools are taking heed of this? Are they aware of this power of emotional intelligence? Are they changing some of their formats and bringing some of this education in right now? Or is it up to the business community to have the realizations and to teach it sort of from within?
Okay. So remember what I talked about, those in the world of business have to stretch to the right and to the left. This is one of those stretches that people don't stretch. Human behavioral, right? Human behavioral scientists, they all this is a discipline. So the school system is organized by disciplines. Lawyers stay here, accountants stay here, right? Business people stay here. Psychologists stay here, right? The entire school system breaks all these things down into disciplines. Part of what I'm trying to encourage people as an entrepreneur, you have to borrow from different disciplines if you want to live a whole life. You have to learn how to balance your checkbook. You need to learn a little bit of accounting. You need to learn a little bit of law, right? Part of what I'm saying is you need to learn a little bit of human psychology, human behavioral science. These things, people spend 4 or 5 years studying this, right? It's a discipline, right? When you think about the therapists that you people go to right now, this is all the study, how humans think, right? Doctors study the biology of human body, physical body. There are disciplines that study human energy. There are disciplines that study emotions. There are disciplines that study IQ, human brain, right? Right? There are people that study lungs. There are people that study hearing. So the way the school system is designed is that everything we need is being taught, but it's being taught as a vertical, as a discipline. My point is, if you're an entrepreneur, this is a discipline you better go and learn at a minimum. You have to go and learn law, accounting, human behavior, psychology. You need it all. So that 360 development of an entrepreneur, that's what I focus on at the Entrepreneurs Academy. It's not just branding, right? Marketing, sales. We do a lot of that. We do market research, the technical side of business. I know that once it comes into sales, as example, or marketing, you have to get better in your communication skill. Communication is something some people will study for 4 or 5 years. It's a skill, marketing. Some people get marketing degree. They spend 4 years just learning marketing, right? Some people study human behavior, psychology. They study for 5 years. It tells you how important it is. And I'm saying for you to be a fully functioning person, to have meaningful relationships, to get your heart right, your mind right, your money right, your physical being right, your spiritual heart right, you do this for yourself. Go and borrow and read books outside of what you went to school to study. You can be an engineer and not know accounting, and not know law, and not know anything about the human body. In today's world, it is unacceptable. For you to function fully in where the world is going, where the world is today, and where it is going, is that your heart, you cannot outsource matters of your heart to somebody else. Look at what COVID has done. This is why many relationships right now, people cannot communicate to their significant other, simply because you cannot hear what their heart is saying. You are trying to apply logic to your relationship. Humans are not just logical. They are more emotional than you can imagine. So anytime you want to do relationship, family, spouse, anytime these things are rocky, is because of EQ. Right? If you cannot make space to hear the heart, somebody is trying to tell you, this is how I feel, and you are discounting their feeling. Listen, you cannot separate a human being from their feeling. They have their feeling. Their feeling is valid. Those who discount other people's feelings, listen, you make a big error. And this is the #1 crisis of the day in relationships, any form of relationship, is that we are not hearing each other. We are applying logic. We are telling people, why did you say that? You shouldn't have. You've turned yourself into human police. You are policing people instead of loving people. Oh my gosh, Renee. This is the error. If you find yourself judging your spouse, judging your staff, judging your friends, you've not done this work. Judgment doesn't bring anything positive at all. It doesn't create any form of positivity. I don't know why people still keep doing it. Any form of judgment, any form of control will kill a relationship. It's just a matter of, it will be given in slow death. It may die over 5 years. It may be over 20 years. Eventually it dies. Or it may have died and people are still pretending to resuscitate it. Control and judgment. Anybody you're in relationship with that's controlling you, policing you, judging you, you do this, they say you didn't do it well. You did that, they say, guys, that relationship is heading for the rocks. What humans actually want is freedom. Let me be me. You be you. How I express myself is how I express myself. How I feel is how I feel. Don't touch my emotions. Don't invalidate my feelings. Keep yours, I keep mine. Is it that you make me feel better? If I tell you how I feel and you don't make me feel better, leave me alone. But trust me, what happens is that we apply IQ. Most people apply IQ to relationships, and that's one of the reasons it fails. IQ doesn't work in relationship because your logic will be telling you, why you speak? What did I say? You shouldn't have done, and in relationship, business relation, it shows up everywhere. Your children, your spouse, your business co-workers. Oh, who does he think he is? This. He thinks he is who he is. Leave him alone. So we have to now be more understanding of ourselves and other people, because that's how actually we can all produce greater results. If you want to work with people, you want to influence people, you want to lead people, you have to be able to connect with people where they are. And where they are is always tied to feelings and emotions. Logic changes, feelings and emotions, they are at the center and core of human experience. If you don't get this, we're suffering. You will suffer, your relationship will suffer. All kinds of relationship, business, customers, clients, because even part of customer experience is managing people's emotion. They will call you, complain. Do you have the skills to help them regulate themselves? Hey, yes, we hear you. I'm so sorry. Do you know how to calm other people down? You can't calm yourself down. Why? You won't be able to calm other people down. So these are real skills, but they don't teach it in the vertical. But I'm saying part of personal development, personal growth, is you now have to take responsibility for training yourself to be able to perform the way that will bring you success. That's really the responsibility. You can't outsource it to anybody. Yeah, Renee?
Oh, yeah. You know what? I didn't get to say that your answer to my question about the anger and actual response to that, or demonstration of how you might handle something, sort of giving us a script, is really powerful. And also just saying that this is a practice that you continue to practice. I really appreciate that. So yeah, this whole conversation is hugely important to me, and probably the most important thing that I can think of in business. So wow. And you're just hitting it so beautifully. God, I love it.
Yeah, let me bring Oloja. Do you want to join in the conversation? And then I want to catch up on the chat space. There's been a lot of things dropped there. Oloja, are you still with us?
Yes, I am. I've actually been multitasking on a back-to-back. But actually, funny enough, talking about what guides us, the emotion actually of a day-to-day, and that has actually been a part of what I've actually also been in conversation with a few people back in our home town, Nigeria, and I will actually, sorry, this may come a bit off tangent of discussion, but it will be of some great importance. I think we should have some talk probably at your spare time on this, because I see a lot of what we're talking about right now, and things have actually been in discussion around emotional intelligence and artificial as well, because we struggle in different dimensions actually, because as humans, first of all, you said a lot here today. If I might track on, just trying to find that footstool where you could actually, be guided in a way where you don't have to look onto the Joneses of what's the next trend, but you being the master of what your roadmap is actually.
Wow.
Your passion bringing you to a different element of building that wealth which you ultimately want. It's not one stone in there and you strike gold. It's always you being, resilient. You have to have that back, strength in you. It's not just the strength of you hear this person is a tycoon or this or that. What are you doing to change the dimension of things? How are you matching on to the world we live in today, for example? We're all here during lockdown, and we almost everyone. I would say for free here, I started getting into different skills, if I would say, and that in a way actually has helped me manage my time, because one thing they say these days, time is money. And how you manage your time on a day we all have 24 hours. I always say to people, because how you manage that 24 hours actually brings, either the negative side or, seeing yourself on top of the skill. And, Toyin, I must say, this very topic is really what we should be talking about on a day-to-day.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Like, okay. Yeah, what you're saying, and I see Miss Olu, I see other people in the space on LinkedIn as well. Listen, what you're saying, there are many things I'm saying here that actually, the reason I'm teaching it has to do with cultural dynamics that actually goes against everything I just taught. Okay, I'm going to go there a little bit. Let's see how people can handle this stuff. Success is a journey you are not supposed to go alone on. It's tough when you are alone. You're supposed to go at it in a community. But if your community is anti-success, is opposing success, is going the opposite way, you have to swim upstream. You're on your own. Is either you go with them or you go against them. Part of the biggest thing right now is that communities of people that have never built wealth, when they talk about crab mentality, they are more toxic. They are more dangerous. Because if you are going where they cannot go or where they cannot believe, they will rather you not go. Because your own attempt to success makes them uncomfortable. Culture was supposed to be designed. Any culture that is not helping you move forward is keeping you behind. And so part of this journey of EQ and self-awareness is be aware of your environment as well. And make sure you're asking yourself, is this environment toxic or empowering? Many people want to deny this very simple thing I'm telling you to check in with. If you are a seed that needs to be planted, as a farmer, please don't plant that seed in a ground that is not fertile. Right? There are ground, I will tell you for a fact, there are communities that will give you life, and there are communities that will choke your ideas. Fact. Never, ever, ever, ever doubt this to be true. You doubt it to you doubt it to your own peril, guys. You doubt it to your own peril. You doubt it to your own peril. What would be beautiful, and I've seen this, what is most beautiful is that those who achieve success, they isolate and insulate themselves from the rest of the world. That's why you have chambers of commerce. That's why you have golf club, yacht club, this club, that club. Those who make it out, they know that exposing themselves to the wrong energy. Remember at the beginning I talked about energy. They know that exposing themselves to the wrong energy can bring their entire empire, their entire financial empire. It can bring it down overnight. They know that. So if you've worked hard enough, God has helped you, you've worked hard enough, you realize that successful people, you will not see them. And they are not even accessible. Like when I do this type of work, I'm very, very particular. I know I'm on a mission. That's why if I host this, I host it and I'm done. I'm out of social media. Because the longer you stay in certain dimensions, you are robbing yourself of your life. They're taking energy from you. Anybody not helping you move forward, what are they doing? And I'm telling you that there's a beauty. When you think about the startup ecosystem, business community system, the reason you go into community is not just any random community can help you grow. You have to curate a support group for yourself, because it's a lonely job, simply because most people are not going where you're trying to go. That's just the truth. Most people are not ready to give life what you are giving life. That's just the truth. But trust me, there are other people far ahead of you that have gone on that same journey. Those are the people you ought to be running after. Not running after people not going where you're going. You ought to be running after people who live in the zip code you're trying to get to. This is where networking comes in. Networking is the way out for most people, and they don't understand that you need to start visiting other villages and townships. You need to start visiting and learning what other people are doing that your community is not doing, and learning what other people know that your community do not know. You need to start listening to books, audio books, attending conferences, going to places where your community is not going. If your community is not going, leave them alone. So that's one. The second thing that is so massively dangerous or destructive to the journey, and again, we're talking about emotional intelligence. These are all energy, right? There's a program in my school, the game plan, and you can learn more on my website, toyinumesiri.com, or if you want to go directly to the academy, toyinumesiri.academy. The game plan, 12 strategies for winning in life and business. The first strategy, I say activate the power of clarity. And there's this PowerPoint where I share that in between your real identity and your face to the world, what you feel comfortable enough sharing with the world, because it's also a function of personal development. In between who you are and who you are presenting to the world is a filter influenced by nature, nurture, and culture, your programming. The culture who programmed you, the voices who raised you, and who you have agreed to be and show to the world. Most people are adaptive version of their real self. You've muted yourself in one way or the other. You've quieted yourself. You've minimized your hopes, dreams, and aspiration simply because society told you to keep quiet. Nurturing says you talk too much. They've not given you permission to be great. Okay? Those who achieve success, they know how to give this to their children. You see their children, right, undisturbed, just moving around the world as if they own the entire world. It's a grooming. It's a way of nurture. Right? Successful people will nurture greatness, audacity. They will give voice. They will make their children fly, speak, be everywhere. They will conquer the world. Think about royalty. Queen of England. Listen, from the day a child was born, he was groomed to take over. Apply that into your own life. And you cannot groom your children for a success you haven't achieved or pursued. So the tendency, I put this in the class, because again, it's activating awareness first so that we know what we are fighting or what is fighting us, whatever that is. The first awareness is please be realized that right now, your system, your entire operating system is operating on your own agreements, right? Nurturing the voices in your head, culture, whatever culture what the culture preached as acceptable. You know, there's a culture behind become an employee, go to school, become an employee. The day you want to go against that culture, you will get questioning. The culture will question you. They will question you. Anytime you go against any of this programming, even you will question yourself. Do you know that? Even you, the voice, even your own mind will attack your dreams. Simply because that mind was programmed to function in a certain capacity and you are now trying to rewrite it. Culture influences a lot of the things that we accept and reject. So we have to think about what we're thinking. And in one of the programs, the EQ program, the class, I talk about in self-awareness, I say when it's time to interpret, usually Because the human mind doesn't want to work too hard. It wants to jump to conclusion. Like, let's say people come into this conversation now. The first few seconds, the mind is jumping to conclusion. Oh, this is what she wants to talk about. Oh, I've heard it before. Oh, this. The human mind does that. Before it's quiet enough, human mind is erratic. And even this is one of the things I'm telling people to be careful about. Social media is training us now to even be more impatient with the world. Scroll, 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 scroll. We are like squirrels now. You go in 3 seconds. If you don't like what you're hearing, you run out. What data can you pick up in 3 seconds about an environment? You go into a place, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. So we are jumping. But the mind is now confused because you've not given it enough information. Jumping to conclusion before interrogation and investigation is a disease. You know why? After you conclude, you will decide. The quality of your decisions, if you don't improve it in the world of business, you will be making flawed assertions. This is what's happening most of the time. People will come in and just say, they'll just be saying things. You know it. You all know it. Oh, this, don't mind Biden. Biden. Russia is this. China is this. Ah, guys, were you there? Do you know these people? Have you actually interrogated your own conclusions about the matter? How much data do you really have enough for you to be vibrating on a matter you are actually clueless about? That's what's going on right now. Fox News can program you to think and function a certain way. MSNBC can program you to believe certain things about people you don't know, that you've never experienced. Right? CNN can program us to think about the world. So your view about the world is highly shaped by who has programmed you. Until you have personal experiences, be careful what your conclusions are about the world. So when it comes to real interpretation, the process of interpretation, the quality of your interpretation is driven by the quality of data. But the mind doesn't want to get busy doing research. The mind doesn't want to go deeper. But trust me, the gold and diamond and the best things in this world is at the depths, not on the surface. So most people, because again, the human mind doesn't want to do any work, because learning is hard work. Thinking is hard work. Processing and interpreting data is a discipline. Most of us, most people are continuing to be programmed to skip interpretation. So we are jumping to conclusions about life and we are making decisions out of that conclusion. And most of those decisions are wrong. This is also what happens in entrepreneurship. Oh, I have this product. People will buy and then they will buy and then they will buy. Based on what data? This is why I talk about market research. What data are you interpreting? What data did you gather? Which one are you interpreting that led you to this conclusion? And you've made a decision that the world is ready for you. You see how flawed it is? But we start this journey with 0 data and 100% conclusion. I say, go in search of 100% data to increase the effectiveness of your decision in business. Fact over fiction. But our human mind can come up with all kinds of fictitious stories that if you don't get a grip and discipline that mind and check in with yourself and ask yourself, why are you thinking that? Who told you? This is the assignment of the day for business owners. Because when you jump in, you jump out. Why did you jump in? You arrived at a conclusion that was incorrect based on flawed data. So data is your friend in business simply because deep research will unlock data and facts that will influence the quality of your decisions. Quality of decisions as a leader. So imagine this. Somebody driving a bicycle versus somebody flying a plane. People